All right, Tokyo Xtreme Racer launches in about 11 hours, and force feedback has been implemented as of last night in a pre-release. So I'm going to take a look at that. I've been trying to record this video for 3 hours, but something goes wrong with the capture every single time, and something different goes wrong with the capture every single time. So instead of figuring that out, I put my motorcycle helmet on, and I'm going to do it this way. So, I mean, you could see the wheel like this too, which is pretty good. I'm using a Formula wheel right now. But anyway, here it is, CSLDD 8 Newton meter, Formula V2.5, whatever you want to call it, the Club Sport V3 pedals, and an H pattern shifter. These are my settings. These are not settings that you should use. These are just settings that I came up with real quick, but they feel pretty good. The most important thing here is the 270 degrees of rotation. That's what I am running on the game at the moment. Go into the game's settings. There are a lot of settings for wheels actually already. You have different settings for everything: dead zones, response times, return times. Everything is defaulted. The force feedback slider is here now. It's set to 50, which is the default. There's no way to see if it's clipping, so you just got to feel for it. So I'm going to set it at 50 for now, and I'm going to set that up later. This setting seems to be pretty important: steering angle correction, and it seems to be poorly worded. However, the description on the right is pretty good. When it's turned off, the input directly translates to the steering angle. So if you're, say, especially at speed. So if I'm going 150 miles an hour and I full cut, then I'm full cutting with it off. It's like a raw input. When you turn this on, there's kind of like a smoothing applied to where the steering angle is limited according to speed. So if I'm going 150 and I full cut, the steering angle is going to sort of be like, you know, not as drastic. I want the raw input. If I'm cutting, I'm cutting. That's it. Another thing to note, no clutch support as of this build. Again, the game is technically not even in early access yet. You can still use an H pattern shifter. And the fact that I spent 3 hours like trying to get this video to work should say something about how excited I am about using a wheel in this game. And that's coming from someone who does not use wheels in arcade racers pretty much ever. I use it for sim racing, but for arcade games, I just stick to the controller, and it is what it is. Like, that's usually how they play better, in my opinion. But anyway, all these seams in the road, you can feel them on the wheel. You feel a little jolt in the wheel when you shift gears, so some people are going to love that. Some people aren't really going to like that. But this is an arcade game, and it adds to the fun and the immersion. I think the main thing to take away here is that it works out of the box really well, and it's fun. So I didn't think I was going to play this on the wheel. Like I said, it's just, you know, arcade racers, they just tend to play a lot better on controller. They're made for that. They're made for like the input method. But this is so well implemented that I'm not even sure I'm going to go back to controller. As far as the actual force feedback goes, it feels nice. I'm not sure how much is there in terms of like tire simulation and physics simulation, but it translates well to the wheel. So I'm not sure what they're doing there, if it's just like actually simulating something or if it's just kind of baked in, but it feels really nice. You can feel the suspension flexing as well. I did test nailing the brakes with ABS off, and I didn't really get a sensation there as far as the car sliding. Again, it's not going to be a Assetto Corsa. We're not getting similar levels of force feedback, at least not yet. Who knows with Genki, right? But at least not at this stage of pre-release. But it's a ton of fun to drive, and that's probably the best thing I could say about it. You can just get in, you can drive, and have a ton of fun doing it. As far as H pattern shifting goes, again, no clutch support. So it clutches for you. You don't have to do anything goofy like letting off of the accelerator to shift. For example, I'm at full throttle right now. If I shift up, it clutches for me, and I can shift while being full throttle. It works, you know, it works. A clutch would be really nice, and I'm hoping we get that. But this works for those who want to use H pattern. If you want to use paddle shifting, that works as well. And the best thing I could say about this, because it looks like my camera's about to die, the best thing I could say is it works really well in pre-release, so I'm really excited to see where it goes. And the most important thing is it's fun. And that's it. That's a wheel working with Tokyo Xtreme Racer. Thanks for watching. Peace.